Hi, Dean Newlund, Mission Facilitators International. Most organizations are very comfortable and very adept at being able to do annual employee reviews. However, I want to show you how you can turn that meeting into a development meeting for their leadership and their career. So one of the things that I think is important is at the end of that normal meeting is to ask your employee, what are 3 or 4 things that you would like to do to be able to make yourself more promotable? Or what kind of things would you like to be able to explore? Or how would you like to develop your leadership? This conversation is not about performance, it's about their development. So it's not going to affect their pay raise, it's not going to affect their ranking, it's not going to affect, whether or not they're seen as a meets or exceeds employee. This is really just about developing them as people, as leaders, as team members. And this conversation will actually bear a lot of fruit. So let's find out how. So one of the things that once you've asked your employee to develop some of those ideas that they want to improve upon, meet with them on a quarterly basis, just about that. Don't include operations discussions or how they're doing with their regular 9 to 5 work. Keep it focused on their development, their leadership development, their career development. They own the conversation. You should own the actual setting up the meeting. During one of those meetings, I really would think it'd be a good idea that you would share your own journey in your own career. How have you been able to succeed? Where have you learned some of the things from your pitfalls? How have you been able to connect with other mentors or leaders, other good books, good TED Talks, good trainings that you've been to that you would like to share with them? Give them the benefit of your experience, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and they're going to find you to be a lot more accessible, and their relationship might improve as a result of it. One of the things you might want to do kind of on a graduate level conversation is find out what their COP is, which stands for capabilities, organizational needs, and passion. And when those 3 things come together, we have what we call the sweet spot. This is where the employee is adding maximum value to the organization, and they're highly motivated, and they're tapping into their strengths. If they know that and you know that, you're going to be a lot more effective at being able to place them in the right positions and help them be motivated and most productive. So the 3 areas that I would suggest you thinking about is that passion part. Have them come up with a list of things that they just love to do, even if they weren't paid to do it. What do they already enjoy about their current job? What would they like to do that they've never had a chance to do? So give them a chance to really explore that. Don't let them get off on a tangent around, oh, I don't think it's possible, it's not useful. Keep them in that exploration, that possibility phase, because it's really going to help them keep thinking more creatively, more strategically, and you might come across some really important things. Next, their capabilities. So of the list of the things that they absolutely find to be really fun, really passionate, which of those items are they good at? Do they have capability in? So narrow that list down to the things that they're not only passionate about, but they're good at. And then lastly, which of those things are actually going to serve the mission, the goals, the KPIs, the SOPs, the key objectives, the leadership's goals for the organization? Which of them are going to really make the biggest bang for the buck in that company or that team? And if you can come up with that, they will then be able to connect to something larger than themselves, and they will know that they're adding value, and so will you. So this is a chart that sort of summarizes this. List out all those passions. Of that list, which of those items is that person already good at? And then from that list, which of them are going to add value to the organization's mission or objectives? And that becomes a sweet spot. Highly recommend that you try to find that out for themselves, and by the way, for you as well. So in terms of next steps, I would suggest that you be able to have them talk about how they're going to be able to move forward in their development. Kind of create a loose game plan. Do we need to get you into some sort of a committee or a stretch assignment? How do we be able to measure the success of this particular endeavor, even though it doesn't have to do with their pay or their performance, but how do we know this is working? And then if you do put them into some sort of a project that you want to have them try out all of these things, then during that project, you may want to check in with them every once in a while and say, how's it going? What have you heard? What have they heard? Give them some feedback. What sort of lessons are they learning? Like it's a class. And then at the end of the engagement, the same thing. post-mortem on the project. What did we learn about this? How are you better at your job? How are you more developed as a leader and as a team player? So I highly recommend that you turn those annual reviews into an opportunity to help your employee do a development plan for the year.